DuMont presents The Shadow of the Cloak. A dramatic record of the International Security Intelligence, the ISI, who search out and expose the cloak and dagger operation of agents undermining the peace and security of the world. These menacing agents hide in the shadow of the cloak as they travel the network of international espionage, threatening your nation, threatening even your home. Tonight's story, Last Performance, starring Michael Strong and Melba Rae.
We have information that Anton Gronoff is attempting to smuggle his father into this country. Naturally, we're not trying to discourage his hopes. As a matter of fact, his very methods have brought us in contact with one espionage agent who uses the pseudonym Baronoff and poses as a diplomat. Baronoff has a certain dossier in his possession. Its contents must be intercepted before he is able to dispatch its information to his colleagues. Please get your additional details from the ISI files and report back to me as soon as you can.
You moved left again. Now, what am I going to do with an assistant who won't listen to me?
I didn't move left. You threw badly and you're looking for a scapegoat. So there, Mr. Anton Gronoff, knife thrower. And as for the question, what are you going to do with me? I hope you marry me sometime.
Go get dressed. Steve is coming to take us to dinner.
Oh, that'll be fun. What time is he going to get here?
On second thought, I have a headache. You go with Steve. I see you when you get back.
You have a headache? I'm sorry.
Yes. No, it'll be all right after I get a rest. Go, I see you later.
All right.
Good evening, Mr. Gronoff. Not a very hospitable greeting.
What do you want?
A few words with you. I was out front just now. I saw your first performance. Quite good. Fascinating, in fact. You're very handy with these things, aren't you?
Yes. So very glad you enjoyed the performance. I've got 2 more to do tonight, and I'd like to relax. So if you don't mind...
It must take considerable practice to throw these knives. Practice, application, cool nerves.
Yes. Very much the same requirements as being a spy.
My thanks, comrade.
Look, I have 2 favors to ask of you. First, don't call me comrade. I don't like it. It makes me sick to my stomach. Second, speak your business and get out.
Our young knife thrower is very direct, isn't he? Well, for the moment, I think such frankness is misplaced. Those favors done tonight are favors that I shall ask of you.
Again? Each time you tell me it's the last time, but the favors always recur.
Believe me, I dislike having to ask you to render us yet another service. Your work has been so wonderful with all our other little, shall we call them jobs?
Shall we call them what they are? Spying, informing, dirty work?
Anton Gronoff, you listen to me. You listen to what I have to say, for it is most important. Let us, for the moment, review where we stand, or better, where you stand. You're an excellent performer. You appear only in the better class nightclub where you meet influential people. Therefore, you have been quite useful to us. picking up odd bits of information here and there. Government people, military, even diplomats on occasion. So you have been most useful to us. And you are a Czech.
I am an American.
You concern yourself so much with names. All right, call yourself an American. You were born in Prague, weren't you? And you still have a father who lives there.
Yes. Yes. I have much cause to regret that fact.
Naturally. Because should you decide against working with us, we should have to decide against allowing your father to live. Now, shall we get down to business?
All right. All right. What do you want done this time?
A very simple task. Eliminate someone.
Eliminate someone? No. I peep through keyholes. I spy on people. I inform. I'm not a killer.
You'd be surprised what you can be if you realize that it's required of you.
But why can't you do your own liquidating? It's such a science with you people.
As a matter of fact, the person involved is an American citizen. We should much prefer to have this death look accidental. No political overtones. It's much simpler that way.
Why me?
Because you fit so perfectly into the scheme. It is because of your thoughtlessness that this has to be done.
Baranov, you don't
A month
think that
ago,
I had...
exactly a month ago, you were given a list of names and addresses.
Yes?
A very secret list. You were told to deliver these names to a friend of ours.
Yes?
You were also told that these names represented most of the espionage system of the entire eastern half of the United States.
I delivered the list as I was told.
Not until it had changed hands.
I thought the police were following me. I was afraid of being searched.
So you saw to it that someone else had possession of the list.
Yes, but only for a few hours. I got it back. The person never read it.
Are you absolutely sure?
Certain, Baranov. Absolutely certain.
Well, we're not. I'm afraid we're going to have to ask you to reassure us.
How?
Yes. Your little assistant, Miss Campbell. Tonight. You understand, Anton? Tonight. During your performance. Like this. It will be an accident.
So, I'm to kill Shirley with a knife during the act. Is that what you want?
Unfortunately for her, yes. You see, she held on to that list for 3 hours.
But she never read it.
We must assume that she did. This is the safe way. Tonight, during your performance, Anton, see to it that the customers get an extra added attraction.
I won't do it. I can't do it.
The girl in an accident? Or your father? You know, there are many ways of killing people, Anton. Some not half as simple as this. Ways that take much longer. This way you will be doing both of us a favor. You will eliminate a potentially dangerous person, and you will save your father's life by doing so. I'll be out front watching. Give us a good show, knife thrower.
Hello? I've just had your target out to dinner. Man, that girl can eat.
Shirley?
Who else? I only take my clients out to dinner. You should have joined us. How's the headache?
Better. Where is Shirley?
Oh, she'll be right in. You know, I've got to give you guys credit. I've managed all kinds of acts. Trained dogs, flea circuses, high wire acts. But I'll never cease to marvel at your appetites. That dame, I swear. In 10 minutes, you'll be throwing knives at her head, not 2 inches from it, and she can eat as if she didn't have a care in the world. I don't know. 10% isn't much, but it's safer. Hey, look. Did I tell you where I've got us booked next?
Steve,
Yeah?
have you heard anything about my father? Nothing new, is there?
Now, look, Anton, that's going to take a long time. You know that smuggling a person out from behind the Iron Curtain that's a long, drawn-out, complicated proposition. But we'll get him eventually.
Eventually. Yes, eventually.
Look, pal, we've waited this long, we can afford to hold out a little bit longer. If we don't get him this month, maybe it'll be next month.
Yes, maybe next month.
Come in.
You know, you missed an exceptional dinner. And paid for by our esteemed manager, which you'll no doubt put on his bill at the end of the month.
Hey, Anton, that headache must be rough. I've never seen you so under the weather. That's not like you.
I'll bet you didn't take anything for it either. I'll get you some aspirin.
No, I'll be all right. Thank you.
Well, I'll see you after the last show. Make it good, you two. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
What's the matter, Anton?
Nothing.
We talked about you.
Yes? What did you talk about?
Steve asked me how I felt when the knives whistled by me. And I told him. I told him that I was never afraid because I believed in you.
It's about time for the next show. You better change.
I have time. Steve asked me something else, too.
What?
If I were in love with you. And I told him yes.
Shirley, listen to me. You remember that time in Philadelphia, in the park? I told you about my father.
The wonderful little man I'm going to meet someday. I almost feel as if I know him now.
Yes, but I told you then, until I had him here, until I knew he was safe, I couldn't take any responsibility. I told you that.
I know, darling. I can wait. You know, I'm sort of proud. Proud that you feel that way about your father. I love you for it, Anton. Besides, what kind of a wedding would it be without him there? I'll go dress now.
Shirley,
Yes?
close the door. Shirley, that night I told you about him. I gave you an envelope to hold for me.
Yes, I remember, but I gave it back to you.
Shirley, you didn't open the envelope, did you?
Of course not, Anton. You told me not to.
Why can't they believe that?
Anton, what is the matter?
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry, Shirley. I've had some bad news.
Bad news? Not about your father.
No, not about my father. Now, you go. I see you outside.
All right, darling.
We'll continue tonight's story of international espionage on the shadow of the Cloak in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this year the March of Dimes campaign is longer, 1 month instead of 2 weeks. Pictures like these show the reason. The need is simply greater. Last year was our 4th successive year of devastating infantile paralysis epidemics, and epidemics are budget-breaking. Your National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, supported by the March of Dimes, supplied $1 million worth of emergency equipment to victims like these last year. Spent $21 million on patient care for the stricken. We go into 1952 with 45,000 polio patients still needing care and unpaid patient bills totaling $5 million. In addition, we must meet 1952's needs, for, unfortunately, infantile paralysis will strike again. We must replace March of Dimes funds. So, for little victims of tragedy, join the 1952 March of Dimes today. The need is greater than ever. Send more dimes and dollars to your local March of Dimes headquarters. Now the conclusion of the last performance, tonight's episode of The Shadow of the Cloak.
Stevens?
Yes, I'm Stevens. Who are you?
ISI agent.
ISI.
International Security Intelligence.
Oh, how did you know me?
You've been trying to get Anton Granov's father out of Czechoslovakia. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's right. But how did you know that?
We make it our business to know. You see, we have to. His father's a scientist, an expert in nuclear research. He's been held a virtual prisoner of the communists.
Well, I hope you'll have better luck than I've had.
This should interest you. I received it just an hour ago.
Huh? But how?
We have ways. When I come back, I'll look for you. You're going to tell him?
Not yet.
You do it tonight, Anton. Tonight, understood? A simple accident. See to it that the customers get an extra added attraction.
I told him I was never afraid when the knives whistled by me, because I believed in you.
The girl or your father, Anton? The girl or your father?
Anton, that's our cue.
Yes, Shirley. I'm coming.
Anton, what's happened?
Nerves, that's all.
What happened out there? I've never seen you come so close before.
Just nerves, Steve. I'll be all right.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Shirley, don't you think
I'm
you'd rather...
all right. For that matter, we almost brought the house down.
Well, if you hadn't ducked that blindfolded throw of his, you'd been minus half a face. That kind of accident doesn't bring down a house, it clears it. Now, look, Anton, you...
Steve, I told you I'd be all right. Now, you look after the bookings. I take care of the performances.
few more cases of nerves and there won't be any more performances. What am I supposed to do? Book half an act? That's nearly what you gave me. Half of Shirley's neck.
Steve, he'll be all right. Look, darling, why don't you try to relax? Maybe lie down and take a little nap. I'll see you later.
Yes, Shirley, I see you outside.
Good evening, Miss Campbell.
Who are you?
A friend of a mutual friend. Mr. Anton Granov. You know him, don't you?
Well, of course. You're his friend.
Oh, yes, a friend of very long standing. Miss Campbell, this is something that has been bothering me for quite some time. Mr. Granov held in his possession some papers. Very important papers.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
But you would, Miss Campbell. You'd know very well.
I must go now. You'll have to excuse me.
Please. These papers. It seems there was a period when you had possession of them. Several hours, as a matter of fact. Now, I know how women can be sometimes. Curious, interested. You read what was in those papers, didn't you?
I read nothing. And if you don't let go of my arm, I'll call for help.
Of course. You must forgive my impetuosity. You're sure you did not read what was in those papers?
I've told Anton, and I'm telling you. Those papers, whatever they were never taken out of their envelope. Now, you really must excuse me.
Good. Excellent. I shall be out front enjoying your performance. I'm a little disappointed in you, Anton. For a few times, I thought you were going to tend to business.
Bad enough.
But I suppose that this performance was just a dress rehearsal. The next performance will be the real thing, won't it? Am I right, Anton? I'm right, am I not? I don't suppose you ever witnessed a real interrogation. Let us say the interrogation of an old man. It isn't just question and answers, Anton. That way, who's to know if the answers are true? Oh, no. We're much more thorough than that. We never allow our prisoner to sit down. We give him a good substantial roar of noise beating into his ears, and a hot light shining into his eyes, and we keep it up, Anton. Oh, yes, we keep it up, hour after hour, in shifts. The noise, the lights, and the questioning. You do understand, don't you, Anton?
Yes.
Your little assistant, she held in her hand some papers which were most vital to us. We cannot take a chance that she read those papers. We cannot take one single chance. She must go. Tonight, Anton. You understand? During your last performance. See to it. See to it, Anton, or we'll see to your father.
ladies and gentlemen. Now, our finale, in which I throw 2 knives at the young lady while completely blindfolded.
Anton, my son. When we seized you, we had no idea we smuggled you out and flew you in today.
But you did not tell him.
Well, you said it was a surprise, so that's what it is.
You see, he has the handkerchief before his eyes.
Well, that's the finale. It won't be long now. If he only knew.
No, I can't do it. I'm not a murderer. There, the front table. That man is a spy, a foreign agent. There, the front table. Call the police.
Stand back, everyone. I'll kill the first person who comes near me. Not very smart, Mr. Knife Thrower. Rather dumb, in fact. Very stupid, I should say.
Shirley. Anton, my son.
Tonight's Shadow of the Cloak presented Michael Strong and Melba Rae in the starring roles of Anton and Shirley, and featured Werner Klemperer, who appeared as Baronoff. The ISI agent was played by Bill Reed, Steve by Bert Thorne, and Paul Ender was seen as father. The last performance was written by Rod Serling. Original music was composed and played by Bill Wurges. The supervising producer of The Shadow of the Cloak is Roger Gary, and the director, Arnie Knox. Walter Rainey speaking. This has been a DuMont production.
This is the DuMont Television Network.
WABD, New York.